I want to say thank you so much for giving me your time today. It's such an honor to talk with you. I'm a big fan. Is that okay to say?
Thank you. No, of course.
And yet I don't know anything about you. Isn't that the way of things, though?
Maybe that's why you like me so much.
Yeah, if I found out.
Maybe we should leave it at that.
There it is. The interview's over. Where do you hail from?
I hail from Denver, Colorado.
Wow. One of my favorite places.
Really?
I love Denver, yes.
All right. It's been a minute, by the way. When you hail from, I hail from there long, long ago. I've been in Los Angeles for almost 25 years now. So, but originally, yes, I'm a Colorado girl.
Did you always have a performer's blood in you? Did you always want to perform?
Always. Like kicking and screaming out of the womb, singing and dancing.
Wow.
Monologuing.
So in school, you did a lot of musical theater, maybe, and drama?
Yeah, children's theater, regional commercials, anything out of Denver, which of course there wasn't much, but, Father Dowling Mysteries and, I just always knew that that's what I wanted to do. And, I got my SAG card on my 15th birthday there. And, of course it meant that was the end of my career until I could get to a larger market like Los Angeles. But
it's kind of a mixed blessing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, joining the union, that must have been quite a joyful day for you.
Yeah. Well, especially because it was so early. It seemed like a lot of money then, but I know it's a whole lot more now. So I'm glad I got that out of the way.
And then did you model? Did you do things like that as well?
No, I don't. I've got more of a face for radio, but
no, you don't.
Or for extreme characters like Pepper. No, I mean, I did, like I said, a lot of children's theater and, I played Frenchie in Grease and Ado Annie in Oklahoma and all the sort of like go-to character, musicals always. But no modeling really.
You missed live performances? I mean, during COVID here, I mean, that immediate love from audiences?
Yeah, I missed it even just doing film and television. Let's face it, it's not like you're not getting that immediate gratification, like the applause and the laughter. You don't, the crew has to keep quiet, cameras are rolling. And even then, once you do get the applause and laughter, you're not hearing it half the time. Like, I'm not going to the movie over and over to hear all that.
Whenever I perform, I try to get at least the grips to laugh, or something, just so I know I'm doing okay.
Well, I knew I was, I got some laughs on Horror Story, actually, now that I think about it. There's a scene, if people remember, in Asylum where I was, basically delivering the baby, and I pop up from between Grace's legs and I say, she's crowning. And then I say, when I crowned, I shot out like a bullet, which you would, you know what I mean? Like, if your head is aerodynamic, right, like you would. Right. And I remember like getting this like ginormous laugh every time they called cut. And of course, no surprise, it did not actually make the final, the broadcast version, because it's not a comedy. But
some of our favorite scenes are on the cutting room floor, we'll say.
That's right.
The best work we do. But American Horror Story, Asylum, and all the things that you have done with the American Horror Story franchise, that's really put you on the map in a lot of places. A lot of people know who you are now.
I suppose that's true. I mean, for a long time, nobody knew who I was. So I've always been here.
Yeah.
I just wasn't as visible. I was always acting, just no one was watching. That's the difference. I was always performing. There just wasn't an audience.
Your involvement with the Groundlings, does that help your performing? Does that help your acting?
For sure. Well, again, just in the role of Pepper, let's face it, so much of that role was improvised. Because when you look at the actual script, Pepper, a little bit goes a long way with Pepper. So, it didn't. I had very few lines when you come right down to it. If you were to boil it down, I'm a monosyllabic grunter, so much of my role was really just me being present in the moment, doing my character thing, which is what you're doing on the Groundling stage. That's what, improvisers are all about, is just being in character and, present.
In the moment.
Right.
We'll talk about Pepper for a moment, and then, of course, we're going to talk about, the other things that you've been doing, including Bite Me. But Pepper is such an interesting character because on one level, she is almost like Puck, in Shakespeare, and on another level, she's the devil, and so how do you balance that as an actress?
Well, not only did I play Ado Annie and Frenchie in Grease, I also played Puck in Midsummer Night's Dream in high school as well. I don't think she's the devil, though. I gotta correct you on that. I think she's, the fact is, that scene when Lily Rave's character, Sister Mary Eunice, comes and says, "Oh, Pepper, she drowned her baby and cut her ears off," whatever it was. I didn't know. I don't get to read the scripts ahead of time. For that matter, they're not even written yet. So I kind of had to give this maybe look, which, again, it's kind of one of those slightly devilish, yes. But didn't I? We'll see. Keep watching, stay tuned for season 4. But the fact is, the truth is, we find out in season 4, and not even I knew until season 4, is that she's actually the number one good guy. OG, really the only good guy, actually. Pepper's such a sweet, sweet soul, and there needs to be more of them out there, unfortunately.
As a single mom, I want to make sure my kids have healthy teeth. Going to the dentist can be expensive. Just a simple cleaning can cost over $100. Then I found TDA. And for about $1 a day, Total Dental Administrators covers my family on over 200 dental procedures. Whether you're an individual, a family, self-employed, or retired, your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these policies. Call or click for your free information kit and see how affordable dental health can be.
We are a collective of independent vampires.
I'm sorry, what?
We have been under investigation by the IRS, and we have just received a ruling that we are not a legitimate church.
Independent vampires. Can you tell me what that is?
We need to feed on energy to stay healthy.
And how?
We drink blood.
Bite Me, for example, is the love story between a real-life vampire and the IRS auditor that audits her. And, by most appearances, you would think, wow, girl with blue hair and a face tattoo who drinks blood, some square IRS agent, with a pocket protector. How's that going to work? But it does. It's this lovely little rom-com of these, two totally unsuspecting characters.
And I got to interject that when you say vampire, we're not talking about the supernatural kind of vampire. Right. We are talking about, this group of people that, think they're vampires and in all other aspects of life, they're lovely, and they're like the goth people when I was, growing up and all of, they're always judged, by some kind of a weird yardstick. And we never let people in that we're afraid of.
That's, oh my gosh, there you go. That's what so much of this is about, right?
I would imagine, but you play Chrissy in this. Tell me a little bit about that character.
So, I love this story. Doesn't happen enough, unfortunately. Naomi McDougall-Jones, who's the star of the film, as well as the writer, apparently I just kind of she kept thinking of me as she was writing it. And I guess, she'd seen me on American Horror Story, of course, but we also have a mutual friend who's actually a fabulous clothing designer now. She's like everywhere, billboards, Cosmo, you name it. And in fact, I wear one of her dresses to the vampire ball. But in any case, so I think maybe Naomi had me in her head as someone who is, out there, developing a name, and yet she could probably still get me, which was true, and especially with a fun role like Chrissy. Chrissy is totally unapologetically herself. She is a total badass, fearless leader of their vampire church, and that's me. I mean, I'm not a vampire and I don't have a church, but I'm very much a kind of firebrand, take charge myself. So I was really flattered when she said, when we were casting this, we had a dozen different actresses trying to read this role, and it was just never quite working. That was constantly the note, Chrissy isn't working, and she's like, because Naomi Grossman isn't playing her yet. So I was very flattered, but what shoes to fill but my own shoes, she had such high expectations. I hope she knew she wanted me, so I hope I don't disappoint on myself.
Well, the film is wonderful. I mean, I went in expecting something totally different, and that's the joy I have as a film critic and a film historian, is I love the fact that I get surprised, and there are certain people that just stand out, and I want to know more about I want to film based on Chrissy now.
I love that. I want to do that, because
it wasn't like a character that was thrown in. I mean, she was a full thought out character, and it just blew me over that you have a group of people working for maybe the catering budget on American Horror Story, and putting together something this tremendous.
Oh, yes, I know. The whole production, I knew they didn't have a ton of money, but man, another thing that I find really just inspiring about the whole thing is every department head was a woman. So, from the director of photography to the producers, to the director, to the writer, to the, there were some wonderful men who joined us, of course, but this was a powerhouse, female production, which was pretty special, very rare, especially in some of those more technical roles.
Especially in this genre, you don't have that many women that love horror and thrillers and things like that. And of course, it is a rom-com, but it does have that kind of Rod Serling twists in it.
Yeah, it's fun. I agree. I feel like it has notes of, Heathers, some notes of, there's a lot of, it reminds me of a lot of great movies.
It truly does. But again, this goes to your ability as an actress to take a character and give it those three dimensions. And I would imagine, we touched on this before in our conversation, but I would imagine makeup and costume really, really informs those muscles.
Oh, absolutely. I mentioned before about putting on a wig and all of a sudden I met somebody else. Actually, a lot of my costumes in as Chrissy came from my own closet, actually. Again, that's low budget filmmaking. They're, cutting where they can. I want to say my very first day on set was the day of the eclipse, which is an interesting, day to be shooting a vampire movie. But it was the day of the eclipse in Central Park. And there I was wearing that kind of almost BDSM bathing suit with the kind of sheer dress over it and black boots and accoutrement. It was, I thought, wow, we're doing this.
This portion of Screen Chatter is presented by VP Dental. Check out our great dental plans starting at just $16 per month. We'll go back to Pepper. I mean, that makeup job, how long are you in the chair for that when you were playing Pepper?
That was a 2.5 to 3 hour makeup job. And that was when it was just the face. There was an episode, I want to say it was the Freak Orgy in episode 1 of Freak Show. They actually had a full prosthetic chest for me. Oh my gosh. And that took like 6 hours to do.
Yeah. And again, congratulations on that character, because I think that's the only time that it's been a crossover into another American Horror Story.
It was the first time. There've been a few since, but that was the first.
Well, you have to have a plaque or something, because we'll get you one.
Thank you. I don't have a whole lot of room in here, but
will you be at any time hopping behind a camera and directing?
I don't see that. I don't. Every now and then, now that everything's gone virtual, I find myself having to, self-tape for friends. They'll scratch my back and then I'll scratch theirs. But that is one aspect that I have no desire to.
Too much work.
It is. It's true.
And as I was doing my background for this and looking, you have the most beautiful eyes I think I've ever seen. I mean, I'm not trying to be creepy or anything, but wow. I mean, if anybody I'm going to be putting up a picture of you here in this juncture during the show, but wow. I mean, those are just blue eyes, and they just kind of radiate life.
Oh, thank you. They're very light sensitive. I'm going to remember all the nice things you
hence the migraines
say,
that you always,
because I can only imagine. Yeah, every time the lights go on, I'm like a vampire.
Do you hate the term character actress?
No, I love it. I mean, that's what I am. I have always wanted to be, and evidently am, a chameleon. I want to disappear into my roles. I want people to watch and say, oh, that was Naomi Grossman. Like there's so many actors that, we love. And I'm not trying to speak ill of them, but, I'm sorry, Adam Sandler, who's done very well, but let's face it, he's Jack, he's Jill, like he's still kind of Adam Sandler, and we love him for it. So we pay him a lot of money to be Adam Sandler, but at the same time, like I think of myself as just sort of like this canvas, like almost like this like nude paper doll, and it's like, what can you put on me? And like I just want to but obviously it's more than just a paper doll. It's I'm seeing the world through the character's eyes. I'm going about life with a whole nother perspective. Like it's it's not just a costume, it's an entire persona. Yes,
you actually put yourself into you're one of those rare actresses that can put themselves into the perspective of the character that they're playing, and that's a gift. That's a lot of people don't have that.
Well, that's what I want. I want, if I had to play, Tony Toscano, like I would have to look totally different. I would have to sound totally different. I would have to think totally different. I would have to feel totally different. Everything about me would be different.
You pretty much have to wear your pepper makeup again because that's
right.
Yeah.
It only takes 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I want the full body, prosthetic.
Oh, right, the 6-hour version. Right. No, but I mean, that's why, like, in my opinion, for the kind of actor I want to be, I don't want you to know that it's me. I don't want you to see me.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Naomi, it is so much a pleasure just to sit and chat with you. You are one of my favorite people. How's that?
Oh, well, right back at ya.
I want to thank you so much again for being part of this, and you are just a delight, and all the best to you. And I'll be watching. I'll be looking out for you on all the great shows.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
When I come to LA, I'm taking you out for dinner.